Okay, everybody. As people are filing in, please take a look at the screen. Everyone's going to be muted for the presentation. We're going to use the chat function in order to ask questions or share comments. Chat button is at the bottom right of your Google Meet window, and it looks like the little symbol that I've got circled here. So if you want to ask a question, please use the chat. We've got a good number of people for this afternoon, and we're still waiting for a lot of them to sign in. I see several people signed in on the phone. If you're signed in on the phone because you don't have speakers and this is how you're listening to presentation, that's great. If you're only signed in on the phone, it's not going to be too helpful just to listen. You need to get to a computer and click on the link in your calendar invite for the Google Meet so that you can watch the presentation and listen along on the phone at the same time. Okay. A few more minutes. We'll give everybody a few more minutes to get signed in. And again, if you have questions or comments, please use the chat function. If anybody wants to say hello in the chat to make sure it's working now, please feel free. We are recording. So I'll watch my language and you all watch your chats. Remember, nothing actionable. Okay, we're getting there. We've got 27 in so far. I think we're expecting, let's see. About 31. So we've got about 22 individuals in the room already. So we need about 9 more people. All right. All right, that's close enough to everybody, and we'll get started. Okay, so again, if you just signed in, we're using the chat function today to ask questions or share comments. The chat button is at the bottom right of your Google Meet window, and it's this little symbol right here. So if you'd like to ask a question, please use the chat. And okay, here we go. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the partner functions in Resware. A few different aspects of it. We're going to talk about the differences between different kinds of partners. We're going to go over how to properly create a new partner. We're going to go over the file view of a partner versus the edit view of a partner, the different partner types that you might encounter and how to manage them, the difference between clients and all other partners, and then managing partner companies and managing partner employees, including how to sort and merge duplicates. Okay, so here we go. The first thing we're going to talk about is, let's take a test file and look at the different partners that appear in a file. So you can see this middle section here in Resware, most of you are probably used to seeing. This is our partner section. It also includes the properties, but we're not talking about properties today. The first two partners that appear in every newly opened file are the buyer and seller. If there's a seller in the file, buyers are borrowers in refi files as well. Um, you can see that they're orange and green, and all buyers and sellers in the current version of Resware are file specific, meaning that if you change a buyer in a file, it's only changed in that file. It doesn't matter if this is an ancillary -2, -3, -4 file and you have the same buyer and seller partners in all of those files. If you change it in one file, it's only changed in that file. It doesn't change it in the -2, -3, -4 files or any other file where that same named partner might have appeared. They're not linked. They're not sharing data. They are individual data points that are linked specifically to that file. So you don't have to worry if you change a buyer or a seller in a file about it affecting other files or anything else. To contrast with that, every other partner that could appear in a file is not linked to that file. It's a system partner. Now, any of the ones that you see in white, barring any restrictions for where they can and can't appear, if you edit one of these in this file, it's going to be edited everywhere in the system. That includes the directory for the next time somebody needs to choose that partner, and every file that that partner may have previously been entered in are now going to be altered. So the reason why I bring that up is because we have our first key point of lessons to learn. Recently, we had a file where the lender was to be determined, and we have a lender partner set up that's basically called TBD. Here it is right here. The lender partner type TBD. What had happened was the client called and spoke to somebody at our office and said, the lender is now going to be XYZ Bank. And the user that went to make that change in the file double-clicked on the lender partner and just changed what was here from TBD to XYZ Bank and hit save. And what that did was it changed it in the file, but it also changed it in every other file that had TBD as the lender and in the directory. If you went to the directory to go choose TBD as your lender partner for your next file, it was gone and it was replaced by XYZ Bank. So the lesson here is that's not the way you replace a partner in a file, especially not a lender. Let me show you what would be the proper way to change out a lender partner. Let's pretend this Disney mortgage company, which is not real, not yet anyway, we'll see, is the one that we're replacing, okay? We're going to come in here, we're going to remove them as the lender in the New Loans tab. And then we're going to come here to the General tab. And we're going to add the lender that we want. So we're going to click Add Partner. We're going to choose the lender partner type. And then we're going to look for Casey's Loan Depot in Marlton. And we can double click on it. And that will add it to the file. And now we can remove Disney Mortgage Company. Okay, and go back to New Loans. And voila, it's the only lender in the file. So Resware added it as the lender automatically. Okay, that's the proper way to remove and replace when you have to change a partner. You don't want to go in and change the information in a shared network partner. Now, what I've seen sometimes also is that we'll have the buyers will initially be one or two people, and then or it'll be a person, and then that person turns into, well, I'm going to buy it as my LLC. And so the people will add the partner or add buyer and put the LLC in there and then disable the individual that the contract originally had. I'm going to show you a trick here, and it's going to blow your mind. You can open Bob Builder and just change it to corporation and put Bob's Builder LLC and save it. And because the buyer and seller are only file partners and they're not going to affect any other file, you can change that information, and now your file is correct. So you don't need to add another buyer and then disable the first one. You can just change the type and the name of the buyer as you need to. Another thing, while we're talking about buyers and sellers, um, I know I can't get a response from everybody, but you do all know that when you have individuals, the only time you ever use the secondary is in a case where the primary and the secondary are married to each other, or domestic partners. You can't use it for like brother and sister, father and daughter, any other relationship, friends. They need a separate entry if they're going to be entered that way. So in this case, let's save Bob's Builder. We've got Sully Seller. If we get the search back and we realize that the seller is Sully and his wife Margaret, then yeah, I could come here and put Margaret in the secondary line, right? And that would be correct. But if somebody points out, Marge is his sister, not his wife, well, we need to come here and take that out, save it, and add a separate seller partner. Tax reasons primarily for this. You can't have two people that aren't married file one tax return. So that's the way it's got to be. And you can add as many sellers as you need, but the only time you would have two in the same seller card, so to speak, is if they are married to each other. Okay? All right, so we've gone over buyers and sellers. We've gone over how to replace a partner. Now let's talk about clients before we move on to creating a new partner. Clients are a partner type in the system, and any partner can also be a client. If we look at the edit view here for Disney Mortgage Company, let's bring them up. Right? We have a view here. I want to talk about that as well, where we see that this system ID 806179, this partner Disney Mortgage Company Orlando, is a partner type client, lender, mortgage broker, and new client tracking in Resware. What does that mean? Okay, well, first thing, some people on this call might already know, some might not, that everywhere that you see a grid in Resware, at the very top, if you right click on the headings, you'll get this menu. And the first thing you can do in this menu is hover over show column and choose which columns you want to see. These are the ones that I like to use because I think they're the most helpful in sorting when you're trying to reduce duplicates or find a specific partner. So the partner abbreviation, the address, the client's office, whether or not it's enabled, the location, which is the town, the partner company name, the system ID, and the partner type. Once you've got all the ones selected that you want to see, you come to lock columns, and if it's checked, click it so that it's unchecked. And when it's unchecked, you'll see that you can change the size of the columns and you can change the order that they appear. Okay, and this is really for your comfort and ease of use. This is kind of how I like to see it, and that's the way I leave it. Then you can lock your columns so that they don't accidentally move around on you. And then once you've got your columns sorted, you can click on a heading and it will sort by that column header. So you can sort by name, sort by address, sort by type. Okay, and that'll come in handy with things we're going to talk about later. So if we open up this partner, you'll see that when it was created, it was assigned the partner type client, lender, mortgage broker, and new client tracking. And if we click the client button here, you'll see that it's a client for the foundation title office. The reason why that's important, and I'll switch to another client to show you how that impacts us. All right, let's go to Keller Williams. We've got about 1 million of those. Okay, here is, let's sort by address. Okay, so here we have Keller Williams, Jersey Shore. And you'll see we've got a lot of client partners and then some, I don't see any. Let's just go pick another one. Here's Keller Williams Realty, 100 Campbell Boulevard in Exton, PA. So the first one here is a client partner. And then you have a selling agent and a listing agent. All three of them have the same system ID. So these three right here are actually the same partner entry, but they have 3 partner types, and they can be any of those things in a file. Now, you'll also see below them the same company name and the same address repeated, client, 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 and that's normal. It's expected because the partners in Resware can all be shared among the various companies that are on the same system. So all of our joint venture partners can all share partners with the exception of the client partner. The client partners are only visible to that company. So if you have employees that only work for Agents Abstract and they run this Keller Williams search, the only one they're going to see is 60051, right? Because that's for the Agents Abstract office as client. And they'll be able to see 43225, but not the client partner type. Okay? Because the selling agent and listing agent partner type for this partner can be used in any company, but Agents Abstract can only use 60051 as client. So I know this is probably the most confusing part about how partners work, so I just want to make sure everybody understands. If you are, let's say you're working for Agents Abstract, and you go to open a file, and you put the client in, and the client isn't there, but you also work for Foundation Title. You kind of share. You're a shared employee, and you know that that client is in the system. Well, that would mean to me that the client's in the system just for Foundation. So unfortunately, you're going to have to go through the steps to enter a new client for Agents Abstract, but then once it's there, it'll be there for all your future files. The one thing you don't want to do is recreate the selling and listing agent partner unnecessarily. If it's already in the system with the right address and the right location, use those and only create a new client. Otherwise, we would have, instead of 3 plus 20, we'd have 3 plus 3 times 20. So you can see it's the difference between 23 partners and 69, 70 partners in a file, and repeat that by 15,000 clients and or partners, and you can see we're talking about a massive amount of excess data that we're trying to avoid. Okay, I'm going to stop real quick and say, any questions at this point? I'm going to resize my window here so I can see the chat when I take a break easier. Okay, seeing no questions, I'm going to continue. So let's open up this partner right here, this Keller Williams Realty in Exton, PA. These are where the partner types are listed. When this one was created, they created client and listing agent and selling agent. And then Campbell Boulevard, since we're sorting by address, 100 Campbell Boulevard. All we have are clients for each company, and selling agent and listing agent. If I click add, you might also consider adding this reimbursement real estate agent individual, just so that nobody has to, oh, cannot be added already a client. Oh, so this is client specific, that one. That's good to know. I didn't know that. There's other partner types that when they're created, let's see, buyer attorney. Let's take a look at this. We look at buyer's attorney, right? We've got some cleanup to do here. So here's Mr. Adler's got several entries here. Michael Adler was entered as a buyer's attorney, a lender's attorney, and a seller's attorney, which is pretty good. I would say that even if they're not, if you come and you go add and you put attorney in the filter, just add the rest of the attorney types there, because it's going to do two things. First, if they ever need to be that type of an attorney in a file, if their practice takes them there, then it's already added and you don't have to do this step later. And the other thing I would say, that if somebody comes along and is doing a data deduplication and they have a partner that needs to be merged into this one that has all of these, well, then you don't have to suffer the trial and error of figuring out that this one doesn't have enough partner types to merge somebody into them. Just a thought. It's a good way to look at your partners. If they're an attorney, put them in as every possible type of an attorney, so that way the next time we use them, if they need that attorney partner type, it's available in the file. Okay. Let's talk now about how to create a new partner and run through those steps real quick. Our new client, we're going to create a new client partner. And normally we find out that we don't have a client in the file when we're doing order entry, right? We come in here, we're doing adding our address. Some people may have seen this before, some people may have not. Right, we're just going to run through this. This is all fake information. Now this is the point where we get to, we're going to say we're going to add a new client. And we're going to go, the client is Flintstone Realty. Uh-oh, FLI, there's no N. It goes right to flip. You can see in the list here, it goes from flexible to flip. There is no Flintstone Realty. So we're going to need to add them. So we click the new button and add the company name here. You can put, like this is Flintstone Realty in Princeton, right? And we're going to put in a company abbreviation here. We do FR Prince. And we're going to put the proper company name here. This is what should appear on checks of Flintstone Realty LLC. If you have the phone number or the website or anything, please put that in. But most important, and I can't express this enough, we've got to have an address. We really have to have an address. If we don't have an address, it really, things just don't, it's hard to sort and find out where these partners are duplicates and which ones should be merged with which. It causes a lot of extra work. And I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. So we're going to keep this as client right now. If we had done a search beforehand to make sure that, well, let's say this. We did a search beforehand, and we know that Flintstone Realty doesn't exist anywhere in the system. Not as a client, not as a listing agent, not as a selling agent. If we did our search beforehand and we saw, oh, there's already a client for a different company and a listing and selling agent, we would just create the client now. But since we did our search and we know that there's no Flintstone Realty anywhere in the system, we're going to add the listing and selling agent at this time. Okay. Once they're in, we've got an address. Hit save, and you'll have an opportunity to add them in the file, not only as the client, but whichever of those partner types as well. If you're not adding a listing and selling agent to this new client, you'll have to add them the way we normally would after the fact. Okay. Continue here. We'll add some fake information. We can get to the end of this process. We're going to choose some compulsory partners in the file setup process here. County searcher, processor. Next should be sales rep. And then we have the title company. Okay, and the title company is adding the bank ledger, the closing office, the accounting department, and we're going to choose our underwriter partner. Okay. Now, the order that the system asks you for things is kind of interesting and telling. You'll see that it asked you for the title company before it asked you for the underwriter. And that's because the underwriters are limited by which title company is selected. So if you ever get into a situation where you've selected the wrong title company, you're not going to be able to remove the title company from the file until the underwriter can be removed. And you're not going to be able to remove the underwriter from the file until you delete all of the endorsements and exceptions from the file. So it behooves you to be careful when you're assigning the title company. Make sure you're opening the order in the right office when you get started, right? Make sure you're off, if you work for multiple companies, make sure you're working in the right office, and then make sure you choose the right title company, because once you go through this sequence, you've got a lot of steps to take before you can remove the title company. Good news is if you get to the point where you've removed the remove the policy endorsements, remove the underwriter, remove the title company, once you add the correct title company, it'll fix the accounting and closing office and for you, but you have to manually add your underwriter back in. So you have to remember to put an underwriter. The system will limit you as to which ones are available based on which title company you've added back in. Okay, so that's making a new client partner at order entry. We talked about the differences between clients and other types of partners and how clients cannot be shared and they're individual, but all other partner types can be shared, with the exception of buyer and seller, which are only tied to the file and not available system-wide. Okay, so I think we're ready to move on to the partner management part. Before we do, I want to take another pause and ask if anybody has any questions on anything we've covered so far. Okay, I don't see any activity in the chat. I'll assume there's no questions. So let's move on to talking about managing partner companies and partner employees. Now, ideally, in an ideal world, we're putting our partners in after doing a diligent search and making sure that we're not creating a duplicate, and putting the right information in at the first time. Unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world, and we already have a ton of duplicates, and we are going to continue to try to train and get people up to speed on what the right way to handle partners is. But people make mistakes, so we've got to have a way to look at these things and to understand them so that we can clean them up. Cleaning them up is going to be key to making our sales reports and operation reports more usable. It also make it easier on us that we have fewer thousands of records to sort through when we're looking to add a partner to a file. So let's start out with a likely suspect by just typing Remax in there. First thing you'll see is if we sort by name, the first ones that come up all have NA. NA means not approved. Now, the way the system is set up, not every partner role in Resware has the ability to create an approved partner. Unfortunately for us, we had to allow those partners to go through because the system of checks and balances built in to get them all approved when they're first put in was too time consuming, especially when we were first figuring the program out. So at this point, it kind of is a bummer for sorting by partner company because all the NAs jump to the top, but it is sometimes a good indication of a company that needs to be checked. So I'm looking right now, we can see we've got Remax first choice with a bunch of NAs, which is a good indicator that they were created after some other one was. We've got selling agent a couple times. All pretty much have the same address, maybe slightly misspelled or spelled slightly differently. So I think this might be a good one to focus on. The problem is, how do we make sure that we just see these and are the right ones and not a whole bunch of other ones? Well, we're going to do this. We're going to add to our search up here Remax, and then the %, and then 1ST, because they all seem to be using that, and then the % choice, and then the %, and we're going to add a % behind Remax. So what this is saying to the system, the % means ignore. So we're telling it to ignore everything on either side of all of these words, anything that has Remax first and choice in it. If they left out a space, put in 2 spaces, put in a period, put in an exclamation point, an additional word. If it's got those 3 words in it, we want to see it. So we click search, and here we go. This is everything in the system that has Remax first choice in it. And right away, we see a couple things that are interesting. The client partner is not approved. This means this is active in a file and it's not approved. The second thing that I notice is that if we sort by system ID, we've got one client with a selling and listing agent, but then we've got another selling agent, another selling agent, another listing agent, another listing agent. So, and if you look at the sequence of the numbers, it looks like the listing agent and the selling agent were in the system first, and then somebody else created one with a client and it gave it a selling and a listing agent. Didn't do a diligent inquiry to see if these already existed. So this is one that needs to get cleaned up. And here's how we're going to do it. The first thing is I call these partners losers and winners. Now, it's no indication as to how I feel about the client. It's about which partner entry is losing in this little match here and which one is gaining or winning. The losing partner is going to be replaced by the winning partner. Any information that already exists in the winning partner will stay at the end of the replacement. Any information that's missing in the winning partner but is entered in the losing partner will now take place in the winning partner. So anything that's extra information that isn't already filled in the winning partner will come over from the losing partner. So if you've got a phone number in the winning partner and a phone number in the losing partner's phone number goes away and you keep the winning. If you've got no email address in the winning partner but an email in the losing partner, the email comes over from the losing partner to the winning partner when you merge them. Okay? So let's choose one of these to go first. First things first. We identified our winner here as Remax First Choice, right? The only one I think we're going to leave alone here is 1160 Route 46 West. All the other ones have the same address, Browns Mills, 12 Trenton Road, P.O. Box. They're just spelled a little bit differently. But this chap here in Parsippany, that's its own office. So let's open them up and approve them and save it, and then redo the search. And so now we're going to ignore Parsippany. Okay. This one though, Browns Mills 476600. That one's going to get replaced by our winner 544081. So we've highlighted it. We're going to choose replace. And now it's going to ask you, what do you want to replace it with? So one thing you can do is you can it automatically inserts the same search parameters you had. And since our search parameters didn't send back too much, we can just hit search and it'll give us the same group of things to choose from. And we can choose our winner, 544081. Double click on it, or you can click on it and choose select. You're going to get this warning that comes up. The warning basically says, hey, we're about to replace 476600 with 544081. And what does that mean? Well, all instances of 476600 are going to be replaced everywhere in the system, in the directory, and in every file with 544081. Oh, and we're going to delete 476600, which is a big deal because you can't delete a partner any other way in Resware. And you have three options for how you can respond to this. If you know you're doing the right thing because you thought it out and you've done your due diligence, you did your searches, you're going to hit yes, and it's going to do what it says it's going to do. The other option, the second option, is to hit cancel, which is nothing happens. And this window will close and you can start all over. You can hit no, but I don't recommend it, and I would ask that nobody hit no. The reason why I don't want you to hit no is because that does a partial delete. It deletes it in the old canceled and closed files, but not in any of the open files. So it really doesn't solve the problem, and it's not what we're here for. If you're replacing partners, it's because we're trying to reduce the number, not just to somewhat replace them somewhere. Now we're trying to fix it. These partners are extraneous. They're a duplicate. We want to replace it with one. So in this case, we've done our due diligence. We know we're right. We're going to hit yes. That one goes away, and 544081 has inherited all of the things that were in the one that lost, that were missing, and their partner employees. So we'll talk about partner employees after we clean up the rest of this Remax here. So we can do this another couple times for demonstration purposes. Okay, so let's go back. Again, we're ignoring Parsippany, right? That's a different office. We're going to go to this next Browns Mills one that has a selling agent duplicate, and it also has the wrong address, 12 Trenton Road, P.O. Box 70 instead of P.O. Box 70, 12 Trenton Road. So we're going to be doing two things here. We're going to be fixing the address, and we're going to be deduplicating this partner. So we highlight it, and we click replace. And this time, just for demonstration purposes, instead of using the same search parameters to select the replacement partner, I'm going to type in the system ID of the winner directly, which is 544081. And that brings us only that partner in our results. And it's a quick way, without having to sort, to go right to the partner that you want. And that's another reason why the system ID is important to show in your view windows if you can make that change. So we're going to choose this selling agent. Last time I double clicked on it. This time I'll click on it and choose select. And we get the same warning. Hey, we're replacing this guy with this guy, and it's going to be everywhere. And then we're getting rid of it. Are you cool with that? Yep, I'm cool with it. So here it goes. And there we are. Now, if we click on 544081, you'll see now we've inherited even more partner employees. And the address did not change on our winner because the loser's address went away. Okay? We got one more to do. We're just going to do it because I'm a completionist. I can't leave it sit here. It will drive me absolutely nuts if I don't do it right now. Okay, yeah, you can see how it doesn't have to take that long. It's really like a 15-second operation once you've identified them all and you're sure about what you're doing. Okay, now the only thing left to do is to open up 544081 and click approved. Now that it's approved, we can rerun our search, and Remax first choice is clean as a whistle. It's got client, listing, selling agent. Any new clients are going to be specific to that office. They don't need to add any more selling agents or listing agents. They can just use the ones that are available to everybody in the system, no matter what company the file is being opened in. Okay? Um, real quick, I'm going to stop and check, see if anybody's got questions. All right, seeing none, we're going to talk about the thing we just saw, which is partner employees. And you can see this one, they started out with this group, and then we added this group, and then we added that group. Every time we merged a loser into this winner. And you'll see that the losing ones had non-approved employees. So we've got a little bit of work here to do. Partner employees are a subset of the partner company. So these partner employees, even though they might be the same name and email address and phone number as an entry for another realtor office, like that this person could work at several offices or be associated with several offices, this particular partner employee entry is only specific to this partner company. So changing it here doesn't change it in any other office. It only changes it for 544081. Okay, if one of these people was also entered in 503918 out of the Parsippany branch, it wouldn't change anything here when we make the changes under 544081. So partner employees are a subset and specific only to a partner company. Okay, so the first thing I would recommend doing when you have a bunch of these, because of the NAs, is get rid of all the NAs. Pop them open, click approved, click save. You know, it could be a pain in the butt, but what it does for you is then you can sort by name, and the NAs don't get in the way. You'll be able to see exactly how many duplicates you have of a particular person's name. And it's especially helpful with some of these offices where they've got, 200 realtor partner employees in the system, or sometimes more. It's without getting rid of the NAs and approving everybody, there's no way to sort it. It'll take you forever. But this way, go through, approve everybody, and now sort by name. Okay, and we can see we've got Edith is in here a few times. It looks like we're going to have to marry up some information because she's got some different phone numbers in here, or talk to the processor and say, hey, is this an old phone number? Can we get rid of this? Alan Brown is fine. Brian Campbell is fine. Kenneth Leonard. Vince Hedges, he's in here 4 times. So we're going to have to reduce these down. I see we've got 2 email addresses, so I'll show you how I think we should handle that. Jamie Hubble's in here twice. Anthony Pepe's in here a few times. And then Powell and Julie look okay. Let's start with Vincent. First things first, we've got a phone number and a mobile number and a fax number. Let's see if we can add, if we right click on the headings here, show column, we can see the fax, we can see, let's see what else, partner company ID, partner company now, we really don't need that because that's self-explanatory. Primary and secondary, whether they're a primary or secondary in the file, that's good information. Default secondary, default primary, they're approved, they're enabled. Okay, that should be good enough. All right, and then let's unlock our columns and let's move System ID, name, email. Oh, new. Oh, it's doing that. All right, I'm trying to move a column, but it doesn't want to cooperate with me. Let me get rid of those. It'll be easier. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, that's better. So starting with Vincent here, I'm going to take a quick note. I'll do it on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Start a little notepad here. Okay. Now, so we've got 609-893-1400. We've got mobile 609-670-6742. All right. We've got fax 609-893-0820. And we've got email bhedges@remax.com. All right, that's all the contact information that we've got in this one. Let's close that one up. Let's open up the next one. Bring back our notepad. 893-1400 is the same. 670-6742 is the same. This fax number is going to be added, but we've got another email here. We've got email bhedges@remax.net. So we've got a little bit of a conundrum there. We're going to have to come up with a way to solve this riddle. Let's close this one. And we can tell already that phone, mobile, and fax and email are all going to need to be replaced here. And it's got the .net and the .com. So the first question is, can't be. It's probably not both .com and .net. Question is, which one is it? I'm going to go to my friend Google. Now, if you don't know this, if you want to be an IT professional, best way to do that is to get good at Google. Because Google has almost everything you need to know at your fingertips. If I hit contact me, it goes to a form. All right, it doesn't show his email address. It shows me his phone number. So if I was looking for his phone number, we would have found that. I'll show you what I'm doing here. So let's try the other one. Let's try .com. I got that same one there. Here's Global Remax. Let's see if it comes up. Vince.hedges.com. Let's see if he put it on his website. This is not Resware tutorial, so to speak, but this is a good illustration of how much work can go into fixing and deduplicating our data, and why we want to make sure when we enter a partner, we've already done our search, a diligent search to make sure we're not entering a duplicate, and that we're as complete as possible when we enter the information, so that we don't have issues. That's probably not going to be it. That's Battle Creek, Michigan. Chatham, Jersey. Contact Annie. He might not be associated with this listing anymore. Let's see. Yeah, it's just going to the website. All right, so this is how I'm going to handle this, because we've got two different ones. So first, this is our winner. This is clearly our winner. Okay, it's got all three phone numbers, and it's got an email address. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here. There's no secondary email. Diane, I don't think she's around. Let's see if any of these people are around anymore. I'd like not to replace it. Ooh, Jacqueline. Ah, please hold. Let's see if we can get Jacqueline on the line. You don't get this in every webinar where somebody actually stops and makes sure they're doing things correctly. Let's try this. Oh, shoot.
Hello?
Hey, Jack. Oh, sorry, I dialed the wrong number.
Sorry.
I dialed Jacqueline's mom, but not Jacqueline. I'll get it right this time. Okay, here we go.
Hello?
Jacqueline, it's Casey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You're live on the air on our 4 p.m. broadcast about partners.
Oh, boy.
I want to ask you, Vincent Hedges with Remax.
Yeah.
Do you have him in your email? Because we've got him entered twice. Once is .net and once is .com for vhedges at Remax.
He uses both emails. He uses at Yahoo and he uses at Remax.net.
All right, so none of the entries have Yahoo. They all have Remax, but one is .com and one is .net. So the .net one is right?
Hold on, let me just see the list when he emailed me.
Perfect.
Yes, he's vhedges at Remax.net.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
All right, so that's the kind of sleuthing that you have to do. We had to figure out which one was right, which one should we replace. Now, hopefully, like processors will be able to do this, and they'll just know, oh, I know Vince. It's Remax.net. But what this does for us here is it shows us that if this is going to be our winner, we've got to come in here and make it look like a winner and change that to .net. So now these are our losing partner employees below. The same way you would replace a partner company, you come over here to the partner employee, highlight it, click replace. Instead of getting a grand search window, you get this limited search window because, again, these are all just a subset of the partner company you're working on, and it gives you limited choices. Now, this is another place where viewing the system ID in your search window comes in very handy because if we didn't view the system ID, we wouldn't know which one of these we wanted to change because they're all pretty much the same. However, in this case, we know we're replacing 553146 and we're going to have 532677 be the winner. So we can come right to 532677, highlight it, and click select. You're going to get the same kind of warning you got when you replaced a partner company. It's going to say, hey, we're about to replace this one with this one, and it's going to replace it in every file and every directory. We're just going to say yes. And there it goes. It's gone. Let's do it again. It feels good. It's very satisfactory feeling. Come in here, boom, boom, right? This is the next one to go. Replace. And you can double click too. You don't have to do that. Say yes. And now Vincent's cleaned up. He's got one entry. Every file where those other entries were used is now replaced with this one. And this one has all the right information. So we've cleaned up the search. We've made every file better because they have more and more complete and more correct information. And we've done our good deed for the day. Okay, so what are the big takeaways from this today? First, get used to working with partners and being scrupulous about your searches. Make sure you do a diligent search before you create a new partner. Try not to create any duplicates. If you're unsure about the differences between the kinds of partners, between what a client partner and a regular partner, or buyers and sellers, what they can and can't do, and you've got questions, reach out to me. When it comes to managing and sorting partner companies and partner employees, if you have that permission already, please, whenever you run across a duplicate, try to clean it up. Take a couple minutes and clean it up. If we all pitch in, many hands make light work. If you'd like to help and you don't have permission, but you think you would be good at it, please talk to your branch manager. And if needed, they'll reach out to me and we'll set up either additional one-on-one training, or if they say you're good, we'll get your permissions changed in Resware so that you can just go about it. Okay. Are there any questions at this point about anything partner related? I'm going to pause here because I know it takes time to type. Some people are faster than others. I know Scott's on the call, so if Scott's typing, we might have to sit here a while because he's probably a pecker.
One finger, baby.
Oh, it's like this. Okay. All right. I don't see any questions, but I'm going to hang out just in case any questions come up. Sometimes it takes you a while to think of a question. I can't tell you how many webinars or meetings I've been to where I think of the question while I'm walking out the door. So if you're sure you don't have any questions, I thank you for your attendance and your attention, and do your best to try to prevent duplicates and clean them up when you can. I'm going to hang out here for a few minutes just in case anybody comes up with a question, and I'll watch the chat and respond until we close the window. All right. Other than that, if you don't have any questions, then take care. I muted myself too soon. Take care. Have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Casey.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
It's Tess. I have a completely different question because I have an attorney on emailing me. With our searches, our search report, non-insurance search reports.
Right.
Is there any way, can we do credit check on a client, or is it just property related?
We don't do credit checks.
I didn't think so. It's
No.
not, I looked over the report, didn't say that, but he wanted to know. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's usually attorney firms do credit checks.
All right.
Check with Scott or Dan and see if they have an attorney firm that they want you to refer them to for credit checks. We might have a business partner that does them.
Thank you. Sorry
Mhm.
about the unrelated.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay.
All right. Everybody's almost off and no questions. So I'm going to close the door. Thank you, everybody. Take care.